the prep zone.
Oh my goodness!
Price, splashdown! Oh my goodness, what a hit!
Welcome to the Prep Zone. This is Jimmy Inman. We're at Fontainebleau High School, big backyard rivalry. Fontainebleau High School, Mandeville High School, the Battle of Mandeville, if you will. We spoke to the coaches earlier. Let's hear what they had to say. We're here with Coach Blocker from Fontainebleau High School. Coach, defense has been salty and your running game's been solid. Is that something you look to ride this evening?
That's exactly what we're hoping we can do this evening, and also just being more consistent and executing. We have to execute in the other phases of the game, including special teams.
And that's the next thing I was going to ask you, Coach. Is special teams going to be a potential focus this evening?
Well, it is. We had a little mishap this past week that we had to get together on and work real hard and stress how important that group is to our success going forward.
We've got Coach Jones from Mandeville, obviously playing some top-notch ball as of late. Coach, how do you plan on continuing to do that tonight?
Well, we got to be able to stop the run. They do a really good job running the ball, and they do a really good job stopping the run. So I think we're going to have to try and get some things done against their secondary. And we got to be able to tackle well. We've had suffered 2 tough losses the last 2 weeks, and we just got to rebound and try and get one tonight.
Coach, your special teams has been top-notch all year long. Is that something that could be a difference maker tonight?
I think it always can be. I believe if you get a block punt or a kick return, it swings the percentages of winning the game. So hopefully that's something that can go in our favor tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Prep Zone. Fontainebleau to kick off. Deep into the end zone. It, obviously at the high school level, will not be returned. As I mentioned, welcome to the Prep Zone and welcome back, Coach Randall Ginn. It's good to have you back. The ever-present Grant Yenny is not with us tonight, so we got Plan Z. Welcome back, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jimmy. I want to thank Grant for this opportunity to be able to do a little football tonight.
So we have Dave Williams up top bringing us the video, and Mandeville's about to start us off. DeRoche and Shepard in the backfield. Hand off to Shepard. Good work right there by the Fontainebleau defense. A lot of hats to the ball, Coach.
Got a sophomore right there, Dominic Sylvan Owens, in on that tackle. Athletic kid, learning on the job.
Mandeville with a hurry-up offense right out of the gate. This is a big game tonight. Both teams looking to build some momentum to carry them to the remainder of the season. And again, Shepard and DeRoche in the backfield. McGowan in motion, goes out to him. Makes one move, and then a host of Bulldogs on the spot.
Little swing pass right there. Fontainebleau played that the way you want your kids to play it. They didn't chase it into the backfield. They let him come to them in the flats.
And I tell you what, so far, Fontainebleau's defense looks up to the challenge. Brings up a 3rd and 4. We'll call it a long 4 at that for the Skippers. Both these teams battle-tested this year, playing difficult schedules. And then DeRoche looks, able to swing it out. Nice pass out to the flat. Good move, a little bit of space. That's it. And look, we've talked about him before. That's Nate Shepard, number 20, Coach, and he's got the moves.
It's the first time I've got to see Mandeville play this year, but I'm quite aware that Shepard has 600 yards rushing and 332 yards receiving, which is quite a dual threat there.
That's carrying the load, is it not?
Absolutely.
Mandeville picks up the first down. Again, quick to the line. Quarterback keeper right here, Coach DeRoche. Gets to the sidelines.
He wound up in full wide. Looked like he might have been trying to run a quarterback zone right there. I don't know if he had a little problem with the handoff. Yeah, exactly. He just turned around and said, "My bad." Shepard just turned around and told DeRoche, "My bad."
Well, when you have a full wide set, it does give Shepard and DeRoche room to run. So Mandeville looks to stick with that package. Snap is back. DeRoche looks out wide, slings it. That'll be Scardino on the catch. and he's going to pick up the first down, Coach.
Trips up top right there. Run a little quick screen, quick bubble out there. Two good blockers out in front.
And Mandeville's found their footing. Fontainebleau, two really good defensive plays to start out the game. Mandeville picked up the first, though, on that key third down, and now they're continuing this drive.
I think Mandeville's offense been able to hang up quite a few points this year.
And there's Nate Shepard again, Coach. He busts out wide right. He's got a little room, and he's able to pick up yet another first for the Skippers.
Kind of the same thing that happened on the long pass over here on the sideline a while ago. Looked like a missed tackle about 8 yards into the play right there. Got to come up a little surer on the tackle.
And I tell you what, that's not an easy task with with Nate Shepard coming at you.
Full wide again.
DeRoche with Shepard beside him, offset to his right. Hand off to Shepard. He goes up the middle, breaks out wide right. He's a stiff arm, Coach, and he's able to pick up another 5 yards after that initial point of contact.
You had a jet motion coming across that time and just pure inside zone back to where the jet motion came from. They like to get your eyes looking one way and come back the way the motion came from.
Good play design, Coach. Good call by the Skippers coaching staff. And it's going to set up a 1st and goal for the Skippers.
Fontainebleau's going to have to probably slide to about a 6-man front right here. Let's see, they got 3 down, walking. No, he's going 4.
Trips to the left for Mandeville. Shepard offset to DeRoche's left.
Tight bunch formation down here to the left.
Ball given to Scardino. He looks, cuts it up. He's still churning. Looks to be down just short of the goal line, around the 1-yard line.
Just a little different version of a jet sweep right there. It looks like he actually pushed the ball into his hands, which would have been an incompletion had they fumbled that right there.
Again, nice play design. Ball's actually at the 2. Mandeville quickly up. DeRoche checks to the sideline. Has Nate Shepard to his right. Again, that bunch formation to the left, Coach.
To the short side here. Going back inside zone. Fontainebleau's defensive line up to the challenge right there.
Good job by the Bulldogs. Big number 88 with the initial point of contact. That's Brody Swan, 6'6", 200-pound senior.
Brody's a tall drink of water. I was blessed to coach him last year a little bit.
Making his presence felt on that play. And it's going to bring up a big play here, Coach.
They're like regular trips out to the top to the wide side of the field.
Nate Shepard set to the left of DeRoche. DeRoche looks. Checks with the staff. Snap is back. Fakes, pass, looks, over the top.
He had an RPO right there where he could take he could hand the ball off if he liked it or hit that slant. Looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field and go for it right there.
Coach Jones opting to put the pressure on right here, looking for 7 as opposed to 3. And as big as the play was before, Fontainebleau's defense will look to step on up on an even bigger play. DeRoche checks to the sideline. Shepard switches to his right side. Snap is back, fake, it looks, and that's a touchdown. What a huge play. That would be McGowan on the reception, and Mandeville is up at this point, Coach, 6-0.
Exact same RPO to the top side of the field that time instead of the bottom side of the field to the short side to us. Looked like the inside receiver.
Garrett Gleason on for the Skippers. Gavin Carney on the hold. Kick is up. Oh,
yeah,
it's blocked. And with 7:35 to go in the first quarter, the score is Mandeville Skippers 6, Fontainebleau Bulldogs 0. Mandeville's set to kick off. Gleason on the kick, set to return it. Damian Marshall and Sebastian Miller for the Bulldogs. Kick is away, and this one looks to be returned. Miller on the return, got a little space, looking. Mandeville with a good job. It's eventually settling in, making that tackle. That would be number 35, Hayes Strawitz. Well, all right, Coach, the battle by the bridge. Mandeville draws the first scores. The first time seeing Fontainebleau's offense. What are we looking for here from the Bulldogs?
Right before I get to that, I want to say that Fontainebleau's defense kind of let them down the field, but then they really stepped up for 3 plays in a row before that RPO hit them there on 4th down.
I tell you, they stiffened up right there in the shadow of their own goalpost.
You got 4 wide right here. If you got an empty backfield and out of the gun.
Burleson waits, calls for the snap. Nope, got a whistle.
As far as Fontainebleau's offense goes, Eccles has been carrying them this year as a tailback. They don't quite have the passing game going that Mandeville has. I think they're capable of it.
Well, it looks like Mandeville had an extra fellow on the field right there, so Fontainebleau's going to pick up a free 5, and it's going to make it 1st and 5 for the Bulldogs to start their first drive.
Still in empty formation with a H-back in motion. And you got a timeout.
Timeout, Mandeville. 7:16 to go. 6-0 Skippers. Eccles in the backfield. Burleson looks. Calls for the snap. Runs to his left. Looks. Looking for space, and did not happen right there. Big number 90 for the Skippers. That would be Pierce Melanson, a junior defensive lineman, was able to eat up that ground, and we have a loss on the play here, Coach.
Your main job when somebody tries to stretch it toward the sideline back there is turn it back in, and Mandeville did a good job not letting Fontainebleau hit the sideline and turn it back into Big Boy chasing it down.
Fontainebleau back, same exact formation. Left hash, snap, the give. No, he keeps it. He's got options now. There's a flag in the backfield. And it looked like the tackle for Mandeville was by Knox Calora, number 10. But we'll see what the flag is.
Where it's thrown at, that's pretty, yeah.
So that's going to set Fontainebleau back even further. Initially the ball was on the 28. And we're going to see where it ends up now.
I think Fontainebleau probably like to try to get the ball into Eccles' hands a lot right here and let him eat some of that clock and also keep the ball away from Mandeville's offense.
Well, and look, Eccles is a dangerous back as well. He definitely can hit the home run if the opportunity presents itself. So it's Fontainebleau's got a lot of green in front of them to work with. That's the positive. The downside is first down marker's a long way away. Burleson back, takes a snap, handoff, nope, keeps it to himself. And Turf Monster got him. He was trying to get out wide. Good pursuit right there by number 31, Jack Roberts, the junior linebacker for Mandeville.
I don't know how many Mandeville had in the box. I was trying to look between out the window and back at the TV. I know they had at least 7, possibly 8 in the box right then, even on that long down yardage, which really surprised me.
Well, in the very least, they may be run blitzing. In the event that Burleson does decide to pass, he's going to have bodies and hands in his face. It does set up a 3rd and 25 at this place.
You screen down right here or you draw.
Burleson on the snap, looks, it is a screen. Mandeville read it beautifully.
That's your jailbreak screen where the outside guy comes back in on a tunnel and tries to get some yardage up the middle with the big lineman going out in front of him.
And that sophomore Wyatt Hammett, number 32, in on the tackle. And a good showing by Mandeville's defense right out of the gate. So that's going to set up a 4th down for Fontainebleau, punting from their goal line.
You know that Rocha is an outstanding punter.
That he is. He can definitely put some air.
He's not going to get to there.
Well, I was going to say he could put some air in the ball, but it seems as though there was already some there. And for all intent and purposes, Mandeville got a 2-point conversion. So we're going to step away. 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go. 8-0 Mandeville. Fontainebleau kicking off from their 20. A good deep kick right here. It's going to be returned. It looks like McGowan on the return. Looks to his left. He's got a little space. He's got a seam. He's still going. And one tackle to beat. And he's not able to do it. What a huge return for McGowan. And that's going to set the Skippers up in excellent field position to start their second drive.
Much like we used to joke with each other when we all coached together about our wives and all, so you outkicked your coverage, your wife is better off, than you are. That he literally outkicked his coverage on that.
That certainly applies to me, and I would say that it applies right there on that particular kickoff.
He kicked it off from the 20, and it went all the way down to the 9 or 10 yard line, and the guy didn't get touched till the 35.
So yeah, there's a problem in terms of coverage if the receiver, has a yardage and space in front of him to the side.
He had a steam by the time anybody in black laid a hand on him.
So it looks like McGowan may have stepped out just outside the 40. So Mandeville's going to set up shop 1st and 10 on Fontainebleau's 42. Nonetheless, excellent field position. DeRoche in the backfield. Nate Shepard to his left. Fakes the handoff, passes out, looks 6. And I tell you, Michael White right there picks up a nice little chunky yardage for the Skippers. It's going to set up a 2nd and 5. Skippers again with the hurry-up offense to a degree. When I say to a degree, it's not the 2-minute offense, but they're not taking their time.
You had your tight bunch up top right there, and then they ran the jailbreak back to this side.
Handoff again, this time to Shepard. He looks, he breaks, he makes a nice cut, makes another nice move. 2 tackles, he gets through, and he's still churning. He's still looking at the goal line. He is actually going to get in for the score.
I don't know that
I know that the tackling was not exactly stellar, but the effort for number 20 was phenomenal.
Outstanding.
It was. I
mean, he literally was tackled at the 20-yard line and carried about 3 or 4 people in.
And may have been hit by 3 or 4 more on the way in.
A lot of it was shoulder tackling.
It wasn't that.
Everybody run in there and throw the shoulder.
So a big play by Shepard right there. Now we have Garrett Gleason on for the extra point. 47. Gavin Carney for the hold. Up, and this time they make the kick. Is it good?
It's good.
It is good. So with 3:54 to go in the first quarter, it is the Mandeville Skippers 15, Fontainebleau 0. On the kick will be Garrett Gleason. Looks like Marshall and Miller back again. Gleason puts a charge into it. This one's going to get into the end zone, and it will be a touchback. So Fontainebleau's going to look to go out and establish a drive right here, eat some clock, find some pay dirt, make sure that they stay in this game, so to speak, not only physically and mentally, but on the scoreboard. So this is a big drive right here if you're the Fontainebleau Bulldogs. Now on the flip side, you're the Skippers. You're wanting to impose your will right here if you're the defensive side of the ball.
Fontainebleau's got that big offensive line, and you got to milk that right here. We got to see them going inside a little bit more than what they've been doing maybe.
And that may be the case because, as you mentioned, they do have Jaden Eccles, and he can definitely tote the rock. So let's see what happens. Burleson and Eccles, in the backfield. Burleson surveys and in motion across. That would be Marshall. Burleson calls, drops, gives the ball up. Good job by Eccles right there to avoid the initial hit. That was number 7, Logan Reese.
Reese is the one that made the play, even though he didn't make the tackle by turning the guy back in.
He was the one that had the initial penetration, and of course, like you said, he made the play without making the play. So, and in spite of the good work right there by Eccles, it's still a loss of 1, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Burleson looks, checks behind him. Eccles is there. Surveys. Fontainebleau sets. In motion again. That's Marshall. Snap is back. It goes to Eccles. He goes to that side. Picks up a little bit of head of steam, but runs into 3 skippers, one of them being number 35, Hayes Strowitz.
Another thing you're going to have to look at is when the man went in motion, you could tell that Mandeville was in man coverage. Catch you playing man coverage a good bit, you can find who you want to go to here. If you find them in a lot of man coverage, I imagine Fontainebleau like to get the ball to Marshall.
And that may be the case here, Coach. It's 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. Burleson looks, surveys, goes with a hard count. Mandeville stays disciplined, keeps, goes around the edge, and not going to pick up the first right there. Big number 90 for Mandeville. That would be, again, Pierce Melanson on the tackle. So it's going to set up a 4th down. And as weird as it sounds, it's decision-making time, but it looks like we're going to have Fontainebleau punt the ball.
Melancon's been in a couple plays already today in the first quarter.
He has. He's made his impact known for sure. Again, he's an upperclassman. He's a junior, so I'm sure he's had plenty of starts under his belt up into this point. Snap is back, and it's over the top again. And this time, it's going to be run out. Throws the ball. Oh, wow. That was a huge hit on that play. And Mandeville's going to have excellent field position. At this point, the question is should he have kicked it out of the back of the end zone, given up 2 points, and then tried to flip the field on the kickoff?
That's a possibility. You had 2 more possibilities. Just try to kick anything, even on the run. They've had him do some
rugby style
earlier this year. And your last thing, even if he had thrown the ball out of bounds right there, they would have got it back where you're right.
So there were a lot of options available. In that moment, though, those options aren't exactly easy to see. So
no,
there's a flag.
Out. It's easy for us to sit up here and say what he could have done.
Yes, it is. So.
Have dead ball, false start on offense. First half.
Looks like number 1 might have been wanting to get involved in that play right there.
He was a little bit with the old ketchup commercials, anticipation.
Ashton
so
Dale, would that be correct on how to pronounce that?
That is correct.
Might have been getting the ball right there.
Maybe so, and I have no doubt that at some point in time he will. DeRoche has targeted him prior to this snap. DeRoche drops back, fakes, looks, big pressure by the Bulldogs, and they get home right there. Big number 40 for the Bulldogs. That would be Dominic Sylvan Owens, Coach.
Since Sylvan Owens on the blitz, he's been playing some will linebacker earlier this year for him. Young guy, sophomore, plays with a lot of intensity, learning on the fly.
And I tell you what, he must be learning well, because that was nicely done by that young man. DeRoche looks, has Shepard to his right, calls for the quick snap, give to Shepard. This time the tackle is made. And it wasn't an easy tackle to make, but it was made. It looks like big number 91, Bryce Barr.
Bulldogs going with their 3-man front still right here. Showed blitz, and 2 of the linebackers bailed out at the snap.
3rd and 16, so a big play right here for the Fontainebleau defense. DeRoche calls for the snap, drops back, surveys. Pressure again coming up the middle. He's able to get out to the right, looks, throws on the run, and the catch is made. Pitch and catch to the very person you mentioned earlier, Coach, Ashton Dale.
I think he probably was going to get on that play. He was offside zone. Then coaching staff probably wasn't real fond of that, so he jogged off the line on the next play.
Very much so.
He wasn't getting it then, but he made a heck of a play on the sideline there.
For sure. That's the coaching staff saying, hey, we'll get to you later. Snap is back, goes to Shepard. He looks, breaks it up inside. Good hard running again. Mandeville will be setting up a 2nd and goal from the 3. I say 2nd and goal. Yes, 2nd and goal from the 3.
Fontainebleau doesn't have your prototypical.
And that's going to bring us to the end. That's okay. To the end of the first quarter, Coach. And the score is Mandeville 15, Fontainebleau 0. snap is back. Handoff to Nate Shepard, and he's right up the middle. Did he break the plane? That's the only question at hand, and he did. So touchdown Skippers on the first play of the second quarter. And I tell you, if you're Coach Jones, you have to be ecstatic with this start to this game.
You're also ecstatic right now that your defense is holding the opponent to 0 right now. Probably, I'm sure he's seen his offense hang 21 points and a half, which I've looked at some of their scores this year, but it's got to be exciting for them to be pitching that shutout right now.
And we have Garrett Gleason on for the kick. Again, Gavin Carney on for the hold. Mandeville a little slow getting some of their personnel on the field.
Good
Kick
rush.
is back, rush is in, but the kick is good. With 11:54 to go in the second quarter, it is now Mandeville 22, Fontainebleau 0.
Bulldogs 3, Marshall 17, Miller.
Mandeville on the kick. Marshall and Miller deep for the Bulldogs. This one is in the end zone, and we will have a touchback. So again, if you're the Mandeville Skippers, dream start for you in the crosstown rivalry. What I will say is the Fontainebleau fans, they're still getting after it. You can hear the Crimson Band from K9 Land down there doing their thing. So let's see how the offense for Fontainebleau responds. You know, it's the old saying, Coach, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? You got to get in here if you're the Bulldogs and try to, again, find some points and get back in this game. You're Mandeville, you're very happy with the circumstances.
Yeah, it's a little early to start chunking it around all over the field when your best player is your tailback.
So it looks like a little bit of confusion right there, and
Like
there's a flag on the play. So I'm not sure if that was a delay or
We
what.
got 12 on the field.
There we go.
Then he just picked it up for some reason, probably because they called it
They
timeout.
and that is the case, it would seem. Fontainebleau has called a timeout, so with 11:54 to go in the second quarter, 22-0 Mandeville will step away from the action. Fontainebleau is all set up. There was no flag on the play. Fontainebleau did call a timeout. Ball is handed off. Eccles makes a nice move in the backfield, but nowhere to go as Mandeville puts hats to the ball. Nice swarming defense right there.
You got a late flag, you're either going to have some type of holding on the edge here, or maybe somebody might have reached in there and grabbed a face mask. It was real late here.
And I tell you what, Eccles wasn't even down on the play, as amazing as that was. Somehow, in that rugby scrum, he was able to come out of it. It is a hold.
Eccles has a great jump cut. He's done a great job running the ball this year for the Dogs. He was the JV tailback last year with a lot of potential. Didn't get a lot of varsity carries as a sophomore and has really stepped into a yeoman's role this year.
Well, a lot to hang your hat on with his ability going forward. He's definitely got a great work ethic on the field and certainly has the ability based on what we just saw. Burleson back. Empty backfield. Drops back, surveys, looks. He's got a guy deep. He's open, and it's caught. And he's still on his feet. Can he stay up? It's going to be close, Coach. It's going to be close. And a great tackle to save the touchdown by number 8, Nick Pedavino. But what a beautiful pitch and catch by the Bulldogs right there.
He had him out early. A nice little, how do you say?
Stop and go, maybe?
Well, it was a nice little offensive screen going on
Is
right
that
there.
right?
That's why I said got him early. Well-designed play. You see it quite a bit in NFL right there.
So, good play call by the Bulldogs. A huge play in terms of yardage. Now the question is, with a short field, can Fontainebleau take advantage? Burleson in the backfield. Eccles behind him. Bunch set to the left. Snap is back. Handoff. Eccles looks to his left, makes a little bit of a run, and he looks like he's going to pick up about 3, maybe 4 there. We'll see. Pedavino on the tackle for Mandeville.
he does have the speed to get to outside, and Mandeville has done a really good job setting the edge so far all game tonight.
They've been, their linebackers in particular have done an excellent job of going sideline to sideline. Nonetheless, drive continues. It was a pickup of 4. So good work by Eccles. Burleson behind him.
Going inside here, they got a tight end and a wing back up top.
Drop backs, looks, rolls to his right, slings it on the run, and it's a touchdown. Beautiful pitch and catch. Great job by Burleson right there to make that throw on the run. And it looked like number 17, Sebastian Miller on the reception. Great grab because the ball was literally about the only place it could be, but it was still a tough catch given the circumstances. So well done by the Bulldogs all the way around.
We talked before about you letting your eyes deceive you, and I think Mandeville got caught looking at that tight end and that wing back like I did right there. Before they know it, Miller had snuck behind them, headed towards the corner to go of the end zone. The old post corner route.
So William Roca with the kick, and with 10:16 to go in the second quarter, the score is now Mandeville 22, Fontainebleau 7.
11.
Fontainebleau on the kick, Roche on the kick, and this one, wow, what a charge into that one. So Mandeville is going to take the field, but they're coming back out instead of with a 22-0 lead. It's 22-7 after 2 nice throws by Fontainebleau on their side of the ball. So the question is, can Fontainebleau's defense step up? Before the last time that Fontainebleau's defense was out, Coach, we were actually discussing their nose guard, and you had some observations about him.
We'll get to it right after this other. You got a quick screen again right here. Good pursuit to the football. Dylan Rucker was a linebacker last year, and coaching staff asked him to move to nose guard for one of those quick nose guard kinds that slants into the A gaps. You're not going to ask the linebacker to overpower big centers, but he does a great job with his hustle and his effort trying to get those A gaps and causes a big problem for people. So just want to shout out to him for being the ultimate team player, doing what his team needs.
What leadership on his part. DeRoche gets back, he pitches it, I should say, to Nate Shepard. And Shepard again picks up positive yardage, still on his feet.
Nate Shepard tries left side.
He missed him at his feet that time as he was getting out of the pocket.
So the penetration was there, just wasn't able to grab a hold. And I tell you, that's not the first time that a defender has had that sensation against Nate Shepard. Look, he's a special back, and he's only a sophomore, Coach.
Absolutely.
Only a sophomore. So if you're Coach Jones, you're looking, going, you know what? That's a lot to build around.
Well, he'll be able to show that highlight from the first quarter to teams for years down the road while they're recruiting him.
What an amazing run by that young man. DeRoche drops back, looks, surveys, nothing there. He has to tuck it and run. He's got some space. And I tell you, he shows some athleticism right there as well. Coach picks up the first.
He did a great job getting out of the pocket. Whoever was supposed to contain on the right side of the field lost contain by going to the ground. I didn't see what happened with it. And there was nobody there to force.
And if there's nobody there, we know that DeRoche can make something happen. Athleticism on display in Mandeville's backfield. DeRoche, Nate Shepard offset to his right, snap is back. DeRoche looks, slings it out. McGowan, he's got space, and he's still looking. Good pursuit right there by number 6, Trent Gagnon, the strong safety for Fontainebleau, but not until McGowan had a nice chunk of yardage. So that's going to set up yet another first down for Mandeville as they move the sticks.
Another bubble screen. Good blocking out in front.
First down, Clippers at the 35.
And once again, we're looking in the backfield. Shepard offset to the right of DeRoche. Handoff. No, I'm sorry. DeRoche keeps. Able to get some positive yards there. Number 9 for Fontainebleau, William Tadlock in on the tackle.
When you have to apologize for it, that means it was a well-executed zone read, though. I mean, he wasn't instructed either way. He was told, read what that end's doing, and you make the play accordingly.
He kept that ball in Nate Shepard's breadbasket, and he certainly fooled me on when he pulled and was able to keep it and pick up some positive yards. That's senior leadership too, though, right there. And your coach Jones, you have to be happy with that decision making. Drop back, look, Shepard, but that play did not go anywhere. Big number 6, Trent Gagnon in on the tackle.
Gagnon meets him for a loss.
Gagnon making a play in the deep flats like that. It's just an extended handoff to Shepard right there is all it is, just a different way to get him to football. Gagnon took on the one lead blocker out there. Gagnon's a heck of a football player.
Well, I tell you what, that was a big play because now it sets up 3rd and 9 for the Skippers. And your coach blocker, you got to be happy with the way that your defense is playing, bend but not break in this moment.
See if the linebackers coming there to bail, and one of them came.
Shepard has the ball up the middle again, and this time, well, he's going to be caught short. It looks like it's going to bring up a 4th and about 5 for the Skippers, and it's decision-making time for Coach Jones. One of those.
For that, it was Sylvan Owens on the tackle again, the young sophomore linebacker whose name we're calling a couple times.
And Shepard right there had a little hitch in his giddy-up as he walked off the field. So now we're going to see, it looks like McGowan is going to be in the backfield as Nate Guidry takes his spot.
Trips down here to the wide side of the field.
And again, DeRoche may go with a hard count, try to pick up a quick 5. Fontainebleau doesn't bite. Handoff, cuts back against the grain, no one there. And a great decision in terms of running. Let your eyes find the space and run into that negative space. That would be McGowan for the key first down for the Skippers.
You know, you do a pretty good job of this for a soccer coach.
I
was actually fixing to tell you about running back's eyes right there when you said eyes.
You know,
I was like, look at my boy.
You know, I do watch football on occasion. Just this is like my 3rd game. So
I'm messing with you. That was a great observation by you.
Pitch, and it was almost blown up in the backfield, but instead, another excellent decision. What a great spin move. Still on his feet. Good hard running by McGowan right there. Showing some athleticism with that spin move to get out of a tackle and almost create enough space to find the end zone.
McGowan's doing a great job of switching from the slot receiver and pinch hitting in the backfield right now.
Look,
pretty good option to have.
If you're Coach Jones, that's a wealth of talent that you have on display. So DeRoche checks to the sideline. Has McGowan set to his right. Calls for the snap. Fakes the handoff. Looks up the middle, little low. And that was Nate Guidry, which is McGowan's replacement, if I'm correct in stating that. But he definitely made a good read right there on that route. The ball was just a little bit low.
Well, one of his linemen was 10 yards down the field anyway. I don't know if I didn't see anybody throw a flag. That's hard to deal with on those RPOs. Sometimes the linemen don't get the.
They drift.
Yeah.
They drift. It does bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Skippers. Snap is back. Oh, and that time, nothing doing. Excellent job. Guess who's in the backfield, Coach?
That's what he does. He's in there to cause havoc.
So right on cue, he makes the play. And that's going to bring up, looks like a kick by the Skippers.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and get the points right here. It's a little far.
And this is going to set up a 32-yard field goal attempt.
32-yard try.
There's always that guy that's not aware of what's going on the sideline that runs in late for every team. It wasn't just Mandeville right there.
Garrett Gleason on the kick. And it is no good. So Fontainebleau's defense holds. And with 5:02 left in the second quarter, it's Mandeville 22, Fontainebleau 7. And we are back for the battle by the bridge. Back for the battle by the bridge. Up.
Who called it?
And it looks like Fontainebleau has, Mandeville calls a timeout with 5:02 remaining in the second quarter. It is Mandeville 22, Fontainebleau 7. Fontainebleau setting up shop, 1st and 10 on their own 20. Burleson looks. calls for the snap, handoff, break inside. So good hard running right there.
Echols on the carry.
And Eccles again, getting some carries here, as you mentioned, trying to run behind that big offensive line of Fontainebleau.
And one good kick-out block from the left tackle right there, and somebody got through in the middle.
So that's going to set up a 2nd and 8 for the Bulldogs. Again, 22-7 at this point. So if you're Coach Blocker, you got 4.5 minutes to go. You're looking for a nice, long, sustained drive to get some points. Burleson on the snap, drops back, surveys, looks pressured, steps up beautifully, throws on the run. Not there. Good coverage right there by the Skippers. Number 5, Emil Allen, step for step. Great decision right there by Burleson to get out of pressure. Mandeville, with the blitz package, was able to find a little bit of pressure, but stepped up beautifully, threw on the run, just wasn't there.
Yeah, didn't panic right there. Stepped up, just overthrew his receiver. The receiver wasn't. It would have had to have been a real tight throw anyway. He was well covered, but
he was definitely going to have to throw him open on a deep route. But again, the opportunity presented itself, so that's a testament to that young man evading the pressure.
Right, the overthrow is better than the sack, that's for sure.
So Burleson looking, waiting, calls for the snap. Let's see. Nope, there it is. Pressure from the backside. And gets rid of the ball, but it is going to set up.
You know who caught that ball is Melanson, that's been doing a lot of tackles.
Big number 90?
Yeah.
Man, he's got good hands to go along with his quick feet. Well, Coach Jones, you've got to be happy if you're the Mandeville Skippers right here. 4:08 to go in the quarter, and the Skippers are going to get the ball back.
I kind of think that's why they called the timeout a second ago, to stress that.
Maybe so, and, just to make sure they have a lot of time to work with. And it's blocked.
And it's blocked.
And this is going to be right in the hands of the Skippers. Number 4 from Mandeville, Elias Allen. I tell you what, that couldn't have landed any better in terms of where he was situated, how it floated in the air, stayed up in the air forever. He was able to run onto it, catch it in stride, and just slowly drift into the end zone.
He came in off the offense's left side, and I was watching the snap hit the punter's hand, which I was going to make a comment that they finally got their snap down right there, and Rocha was going to get it off well. And about that time.
And prior to the game, one of the, emphases, if you will, was special teams. Coach Jones mentioned his team's done well for the most part. And they had a little hiccup earlier tonight, but they are able to find the extra point. And with 4:01 to go in the second quarter, it is Mandeville 29, Fontainebleau 7. Mandeville about to kick off after a huge special teams play. Kick is back, it's deep, and this one will be returned. Another one, a hole to the outside, able to find a little bit of room right there was number 17, Sebastian Miller. So, again, Fontainebleau, it's the elephant buffet, coach, one bite at a time.
Miller is the kid that caught the touchdown for the Dogs a while ago, and he's a sophomore. And I was blessed to have him on class last year. He's a great kid. He plays some quarterback as well. But I noticed that Mandeville is not kicking the ball off to Marshall's side. He's got a little bit more speed than Miller does right there.
Well, I tell you, he showed a lot of speed on that deep route than where he was able to catch the touchdown earlier. Burleson back, takes a snap, handoff, no pitch. Goes outside, nothing doing right there. Good penetration by number 10, Knox Calora, and number 31, Wyatt Hammond, for the Skippers.
Yeah, you told me before the game when I was asking you a couple Mandeville defensive players to look at. I was aware of their offense, to look out for number 10. You showed why right there.
Yeah, for sure. Knox Calora is, I tell you, he's a sound tackler, senior linebacker for the Skippers. Burleson's in the backfield. Eccles behind him. Snap is back. Hand off to Eccles. He looks up the middle. And he's able to pick up a couple of very hard yards to find. Big number 96, Clarence Joseph III, a senior defensive lineman for the Skippers. That's not the person you want to run into.
No, he did a great job of fighting off these big offensive linemen. I watched two of the Fontainebleau offensive linemen get off the ground right there. I don't know, sometimes you get caught up in the wash.
So that's going to bring up a third and long for the Bulldogs. A good job again by Burleson stepping up, but he runs out of real estate, and it's number 7, Logan Reese, able to make the sack right there for the Skippers.
Yeah, Burleson's doing all he can. Obviously, when he escaped right there and he got off to the right side, I didn't look down the field. I was watching Burleson escape, and he must have felt that he had nobody to go to if he had to eat it right there. Here brings us to another adventure.
And it has been an adventure. There's only 2 minutes left in the quarter.
Oh, my.
And I tell you what, that is some athleticism on display by Fontainebleau's punter right there, because he evaded the rush and was able to get off a kick, and that roll went on and on and on. So Mandeville's going to take over with 1:47 to go in the half. And if it weren't for that elusive first step, it could have been some serious trouble for the Bulldogs. Instead, Mandeville's got a lot of green in front of them. So if you're Coach Jones, you're like 1:47. That's a world of time. Especially when you have Nate Shepard in the backfield and DeRoche running your offense. So right now, DeRoche takes a snap back, looks, drops. Good pressure by the Bulldogs. DeRoche goes to his left and runs out of bounds. So 1:40 to go, Coach.
I'm still thinking about the punt, What a play Rocha made.
Coach, Rocha was able to literally, he may as well have yelled Ole because he may as well have had a red cape, because somehow he was able to evade that and still get off a punt of quality under extreme duress. Snap is back to DeRoche. Good pressure by the Bulldogs. DeRoche evades it, still with his eyes downfield, looks, makes a delivery. And guess who? Nate Shepard. What a potent 1-2 combo those two young men make.
He really had completely stopped running his route. He was the check down man, and he went about 10 yards up the field into the deep flats, and he just stopped. And he wasn't covered.
And what kind of confidence does DeRoche have to just kind of sling that ball out there and throw it up and let him go get it? Shepard to his right, looks to his left, goes out to number 3, McGowan, who, hey, he's shown his athleticism already in this half as well.
Yep, just another bubble screen up top.
We're down to the last minute of the first half. Mandeville lines up, looks like an empty backfield. DeRoche takes a snap, low snap, able to pick it up, pull it up, has his eyes downfield, throws on the run, and we have another catch. Guess who? Nate Shepard. He's got some space. He's not going to be caught, Coach. Touchdown for the Skippers.
Coach, he was uncovered out of the backfield.
Well, that makes it easy, and you certainly don't want to have that,
I mean, he didn't line up in the backfield. He lined up as a slot receiver that time, but he's still your most dangerous player, and he's uncovered.
Yeah, that's not something you would want to see if you're the Bulldog staff right there.
Gleason to try the extra point.
Gleason on for the extra point for the Skippers. 47, Gavin Carney on the hold. Snap is back, down, up, and good. And with 38 seconds to go in the first half, it is Mandeville 36, Fontainebleau 7. Mandeville set to kick off. And we have Miller and Marshall back to receive. And it looks like, let's see, is that Marshall? And he runs out of space on the right side. Big number 35 for Mandeville. The Skippers, that would be Hayes Strawitz. He's made a few plays here tonight as well, Coach.
He has. The Dogs switched
First and 10.
Marshall with Miller that time, put him in the deep left corner over there, or deep right corner if you're coming from the kickoff team, return
And
team.
Bulldogs will set up shop. 30 seconds to go in the first half at their own 22. Burleson, Eccles behind him. Burleson surveys, looks, snaps back, gives to Eccles, and nothing doing right there. A host of skippers in on the tackle, 91, 96. We've seen 96, Clarence Joseph III, Juan Canales, 91, another defensive lineman, a sophomore at that.
It looks like they're winning the fact that Eccles hadn't got going between the tackles lets me know that Mandeville's winning the line in the trenches in there right now.
And that will do it. It is halftime here at Fontainebleau's Dog Pound. The score is Mandeville 36, Fontainebleau 7. we are back to the action here at Fontainebleau's Dog Pound. Mandeville to kick. It'll be Marshall and Miller back. And it looks like Miller on the return. Surveying. Good job with Mandeville special teams on their kickoff coverage. Number 32 for the Skippers right there, in on the tackle. That would be Wyatt Hammett. A busy man on special teams, and he puts his nose in on the defensive side of the ball as well. So if you're Coach Jones, you got to be quite pleased with that first half. Mandeville really was impressive. This special teams, again, for the most part, has been almost flawless for the Skippers.
Special teams was dominant.
Very much so.
But
so Burleson back. Calls for the snap. Handoff. And looking to break outside. That was 23 Eccles. He's able to pick up a couple of yards right there.
Needed a key block at the point of attack. Didn't quite get it on the edge right there.
So it's going to be a 2nd and 7 for the Bulldogs. Pick up 3 right there for Eccles. And again, he's still, he's got another year under his belt. He's a junior running back for the Bulldogs, so the future certainly looks bright next year and the remainder of this year as well. Wilson gets the snap, fakes the handoff, goes to his right. Mandeville read that very well. A host of Skippers in on the tackle. It looked like number 35 for the Skippers was the initial player to kind of mess up things for the Bulldogs. That was Hayes Strawitz, the senior safety. Good job by that young man in run support.
Yeah, he came up, made the initial tackle, and had a lot of gang tackling behind him to help him there.
A lot of hats to the ball for the Skippers. I've been impressed with the way they flow to the ball and, finish off the tackle, so to speak.
4-man line for the Skippers has been all night.
And it looks like, is that Rondé White in?
Rondé's in at quarterback right now.
So perhaps, and is that a delay?
Dead ball.
And that's exactly what it is, a delay of game. New quarterback coming in. So my assumption is at this point is that Fontainebleau may look to go more Wildcat to basically try to catch the edge.
White is a senior that played quarterback last year for the Dogs, and when Burleson moved in, they had a competition, and I think they just favored White a little bit more at wide receiver to make some plays out there.
Well, then, it looks like that's what they're going back to because Burleson is back behind center again. Drops back, looks, surveys, and he delivers the ball. And I tell you what, he was looking for White. You mentioned him, Coach, and he was definitely trying to find him. White looked open on the initial cut, but it looked like Mandeville had a little bit of pressure, and Burleson had to hold the ball for 1 second, and that kind of messed up the timing on that route.
There wound up being 2 guys covering him at the end of the route, with another coming over the top by the time the ball got there. So really, even though he looked open early, by the time the ball got there, there were three defenders on him.
Coach, I'm sitting here saying route like I'm at Sonic ordering something.
Well, he
got the punt away.
Punt off clean.
And that would be number 11, Scardino, with the good hands for the Skippers. It's going to set up 1st and 10. Excellent field position for Mandeville at their own 45.
Getting right into it right here. They can get their play.
So Cooper DeRoche, senior signal caller for the Skippers, setting up the attack going forward. Nate Shepard is going to be set to his left. 4 wide outs. Snap is back, and that play is going nowhere. Excellent job by the Fontainebleau defense. Number 44, number 80 in on the tackle. Not just the tackle, but they took away the pitch. So the Laborde and Jendusa basically kind of combo in that situation. So good job by those young men.
Fontainebleau anticipating the run right there. They walked the two strong safety outside linebacker types down and brought all 5 instead of just 3.
So DeRoche with Shepard to his left. Calls for the snap, drops back, looks, surveys. He's going to go deep. He's throwing it up and incomplete. Good coverage right there by number 6 for the Bulldogs.
That's 8.
I'm sorry, 8. Cameron Bayham.
Cam Bayham's a senior, has put in a lot of time on this football team.
Well, good coverage right there by Mr. Bayham. And I tell you, Coach Jones and company, not afraid to put the ball up right there. But again, you've got a lead. You've got Burleson looking to go deep. I'm sorry, not Burleson. You've got DeRoche looking to go deep. He was going to Scardino, number 11. So I got my number 11s confused. So DeRoche dropping back on the run, and he throws on the run, and it's a catch. And it's Nate Shepard on the catch. I tell you what, both of these quarterbacks have done an excellent job of throwing the ball, rolling to their right on the run. And DeRoche right there keeps his eyes downfield and surveys like the true field general he is.
The last time he threw it and touchdown in the first half, he was wide open. Shepard was wide open. That time, tight coverage by Gagnon, and he had to really put it in there in tight coverage.
So we have DeRoche back again. Shepard on his right.
Run again.
And it is a run, and it is Shepard. He goes to the left. He's able to get through the first tackle before being gang tackled by 3 or 4 Bulldogs.
He ran over 1.
Yes, he did. He's not afraid to put his shoulder pads to work, is he? So that's a first down for the Skippers. Chains move. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 39.
Trips.
DeRoche drops back, surveys. It's going to be a screen. Their flag on the play. There may have been a lineman downfield. Nonetheless, Shepard's looking to show his athleticism, carry some more defenders for a little while before eventually he's tackled.
Had Shepard caught it behind the line of scrimmage, it wouldn't have been a penalty, but Shepard caught it 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. All 3 of his big blockers were out in front of him down the field already. They're going to bring this one back.
So it wasn't an offensive lineman downfield. It was an offensive line downfield.
It was. And it was extremely well executed besides that. They call holding.
They're going to call holding. Well, Coach, I guess you and I both missed that one.
No, I didn't trust me. I didn't miss it.
Okay, I trust you.
It may have been something else, but I didn't. It may have been a holding as well, but I did not miss it. He was
because as soon as it was thrown, I was like, well, those linemen were way downfield.
And I checked to see where he caught it at, and he caught it past the line of scrimmage.
I guess if you have your whole line in mass moving downfield, it's not as easy to pick it out. It's like, wait, was that where the line of scrimmage was? Because they were all there.
Executed.
Nonetheless, DeRoche looks back, hands off. That would be number 3 on the handoff. McGowan, good hard running, still hard running. And eventually he's run out of bounds. He's going to be short of the first down. But, man, good hard running by Donovan McGowan, the junior wide receiver / running back on occasion for the Skippers.
Can't tackle him up by the shoulder pads, and that's what's going on right now.
No, he's a tough runner.
It's listed at 170, but he
plays bigger than that.
Yeah,
he plays bigger than that. So Mandeville, time is on their side. DeRoche looks, gets back, surveys, delivers. Is that Scardino? Yes, that is Scardino, 11, Brennan Scardino. Senior wide receiver. There's a flag on the play.
I don't want to anticipate what it was.
No, I look.
I know what it was, but I'm not going to say it early.
Hey.
That was going to be on number 2 out there trying to get him a lead block.
Yeah, after the not so stationary off the line, it's like I'll just sit back and not say anything with that anymore.
I want to give a shout out to my buddy Tiger Edwards, former of Channel 13, living his best life down in Key West.
LT Gray.
Working.
Hand off to Shepard. He goes to the left, cuts it back inside. Great move. Ball's on the ground. Ball's on the ground still, and it looks like the Bulldogs have recovered.
Oh, we threw a punch. Nope, nobody saw it.
Well,
that's a good thing.
Dylan Rucker comes up with the football for the Bulldogs. First down, Fontainebleau.
so the Bulldogs, the beneficiary of some good hard-nosed tackling right there. Look, Shepard's had a whale of a game, but every once in a while, even the greatest running backs will put one on the
I
ground.
saw Kamara drop one early last week and bounce back with 100 yards.
There you go. It does happen. The best of the best to put it on the ground. And again, my word, he's only a sophomore.
He's an impressive sophomore.
Very, very much so. Burleson back. Snap is back. Fakes, goes out wide. Nice little look right there. Good play design. And it's going to be a pickup of about 7. Marshall on that reception.
Damian Marshall, fastest kid on Fontainebleau's offense. I'm sure at halftime they were trying to diagnose some ways to get him the football in the second half.
Roberts on the tackle right there, and I tell you what, if he doesn't make that tackle, then the speedster could have scored because he had a lot of green in front of him. All right, a little confusion it seems to Fontainebleau's part. Burleson looks, calls for the snap, pitches the ball. It's an option, and Mandeville read that. A fumble, ball's on the ground, ball's still on the ground, and it's eventually covered up by the Bulldogs. And it looks like we may have an injury on the play. We're going to step away for an injury timeout. Good to see the young man jog off the field. That was Eccles. Burleson in the backfield calls for the snap, drops back, pressure by Mandeville on the run, throws the ball out, evades the pressure, and does not take the sack there. Still going to leave a 4th down for the Bulldogs, and it's 4th and 21. So obviously the punt team will come on the field.
Well, it's kind of like the 3rd and 21. Your options are limited on that.
It is, and honestly, I thought he was going to look downfield right there, but the coverage was excellent by the Mandeville Skippers. He had nowhere to go, as you mentioned.
Somebody on late here, just like we talked about earlier. It doesn't matter what team you're watching these days.
Snap is back,
Floater.
And he gets it away, and it's another excellent punt. And this time, and number 9 is going to settle in, and that would be William Tadlock to down the ball. But, man, I tell you what, that definitely flipped the field right there. So a good punt like that is certainly a weapon.
I have been blessed to be around a lot of good kickers at the schools I've been at, particularly, at Covington, dealing with Kevin Pond and John Marino.
Red Sharp and Andy Frost.
And right, all those guys. This kid Rocha can kick at the next level.
No doubt, and he has an awareness about him because he's had some pressure and has had to make some quick decisions. So DeRoche goes back to work. To his right is Nate Shepard. Shepard goes out in the flat. DeRoche looks deep. He's throwing it up, and it's caught. That is going to be a big-time catch. McGowan, again, Mandeville has the three-headed monster, so to speak. Those guys pitch, catch, and run.
He was behind the coverage, and the throw wound up being a little short. He came back to the ball through the defender and made a great play on the ball. He's been a secret weapon tonight.
For sure. The junior wide receiver for the Skippers has been most impressive. And look, they still have Ashton Dale on the other side as well, and that they're not afraid to look to. DeRoche drops back, looks, a little swing pass. And that didn't go anywhere. It was excellent work. Guess who?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get a number
It looks
off
like
of it.
42.
40.
Oh,
That's
40.
Sylvan Owens again. the
Sylvan
sophomore.
Owens, yes.
Literally split 2 offensive linemen at midfield to make that play right there.
That's not an easy thing to do, is it?
Uh,
So good defensive play by that young man.
They had that one set up well. You know what we hadn't tossed shout out to is Mandeville's offensive line has done a great job tonight.
Excellent job, actually. They've been able to keep DeRoche's jersey clean and create holes. And here we go, DeRoche going out wide. And there's a flag on the play.
You know what that's going to be, don't you? But I'm not going to say after.
Well, I have a guess,
All
but
right.
my guess is it means it's going to be a first down, Skippers.
Penalty on the play.
Got a personal foul, face mask on the defense.
Well,
First down.
my guess was correct.
I thought you were going to guess it was a horse collar.
Well, no.
He had one hand up front, one hand in the back. He did.
And there was only one flag in the pocket, so I guess it was a choice to be made. Nonetheless, first down for the Skippers as the drive continues. 4:16 to go in the third quarter. Skippers up 36-7. DeRoche
Movement,
up.
right tackle.
So that'll back the Skippers up.
Dead ball. False start.
I tell you what, Mandeville's had a lot of close losses this year.
High-scoring losses.
Fontainebleau's had some close losses as well. So tonight was one of those games, as I mentioned. Somebody was going to come out of this game with a little bit of momentum.
What's happening right here is we just bragged on these Mandeville linemen, and they literally are outweighing these 3 guys in Fontainebleau defensive line by quite a bit.
Good job right there by Fontainebleau. Guess who?
Sylvan Owens again.
That's it, number 40.
Goes for a loss.
His motor never quits running. He doesn't check the scoreboard. He plays till the whistle, Coach. You got to love that aspect of that player.
He's got another half year this year and 2 more years to go. He is learning on the fly. Had him in class last year. Another good student, quality character. Like seeing good things happen to good people.
No doubt, no doubt. So now we're looking at a second and long, 2nd and 20 for the Skippers. DeRoche gets the snap, drops back. He able to evade the pressure, steps, looks. He's got a man wide open at the 10, at the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. Man,
He rushed the quarterback.
and still
He
got
was
back.
rushing the quarterback and was trying to track down the receiver at the goal line.
That's a lot to ask. Ashton Dale, who I mentioned earlier, you know, we talked about the 3-headed monster, and I was like, don't leave out Ashton Dale. Yeah, that's who put that in the end zone right there for the Skippers. So Garrett Gleason back for yet another extra point. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. And with 3:10 to go in the third quarter, the score is Mandeville 43, Fontainebleau 7.
On the near side, Sebastian Miller.
Mandeville set to kick off again. Another big booming kick. This time we do have a return. Marshall on the return. Mandeville again with excellent coverage. Excellent coverage. You know, Coach Jones mentioned before the game, you know, his special teams has been able to hang his hat on it. And he said, hey, they could play a role tonight, and they certainly have.
They've more than played a role. That's an understatement.
Yes.
Keeping Marshall in front of you on a kickoff return.
That's not easy.
Right. And they've done a great job bottling him up when he has touched the ball.
So I tell you, this has been an impressive outing for the Mandeville Skippers and Coach Jones. Burleson back, calls for the snap, turns around, hands the ball off. Good hard running up the middle, but Mandeville again, a lot of hats on the ball. And a little chippiness right there at the end of that play.
Good to see Eccles back in the game.
No doubt, I was about to say, Eccles, it's good to see him in there. And again, he's got no quit in him either. So if you're Coach Blocker, you're seeing who you can hang your hat on going forward. I got to say, it's pretty much everybody. You can't question Fontainebleau's heart for sure.
That you can't.
So Burleson looking, Eccles behind him, surveying the defense, takes a snap, handoff. No, he keeps it himself. Goes out to the left, slammed down by big number 90. You know who that is, Coach. Pierce Melanson. You know, he's the good hands guy on the sideline.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he could play tight end, couldn't he?
Well, if they turn his stats in for defensive player of the metro area, he'll be able to add that one sideline reception tonight.
He snagged that ball out of the air like it was nothing. All right, third and 7 here for the Bulldogs. Burleson looking, trying to keep this drive going. Surveys, got some pressure up the middle. 91 for the Skippers. Juan Canales, who was in on a sack earlier with Clarence Joseph III. He's able to get penetration, and it's going to set up a 4th down for the Bulldogs. So we're going to see Rocha again. And these punts, in the very least, have been, how can I say this? We'll call it entertaining.
It's been an adventure.
That's actually a more proper word.
Every time.
Because if you're a Bulldog fan, it hasn't necessarily been that entertaining, but certainly adventurous. Got a return on. They got some space. Another move outside. Nice cut right there. Nick Pedavino for the return. And a good job by that young man to set Mandeville up with excellent field position yet again.
Great job right there. Normally play some free safety for him.
So this has certainly been a game tonight where field position has favored the Skippers. I know when Fontainebleau played Covington a couple of weeks back, I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 drives for the Lions that started inside of their own 5. It's hard to go 95 yards against air. So that was the game where the special teams for Fontainebleau really stood out.
Right.
And then tonight, just the reverse. Mandeville's special teams are really, standing out and giving them good field position.
Covington being mainly a running squad this year behind that big offensive line, those 95-yard drives don't come quick either. So
no, they're time-consuming on top of that.
With the low-scoring game.
Very much so. So certainly had an impact in that game. And then we had a penalty on the play, so Mandeville sets up shop at their own 48. Pass out of the backfield. There's a flag on the play. Nate Shepard definitely had some space, but now I might be wrong here again, Coach. But that offensive line, and I mean the whole offensive line, looked to be far down the field, and Shepard looked past the line of scrimmage when he got it.
I don't think he was that time.
You don't?
I just off the top of my head, just kind of watching the play through the window and not the TV screen, it looked like he probably was behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, then I'll trust you on that because you have a much bigger view. How can I say this? You see the big picture in that moment.
Don't let me watch the replay when it shows that I was probably wrong.
I'll trust you. I trust you fully.
I was fixing to say I'm still kind of shocked that they're chunking the ball around, but I mean the screen is just a long handoff.
It is.
You're trying to get your player out in space, so it's not like they're throwing the ball 40 yards.
No, and that's your playmaker too. That's Nate Shepard, and the reality is you're going to practice the plays that you're going to use down the road as well. So, the season doesn't end tonight. Mandeville's got some big games ahead of them, and they got some things that they're going to work on right here, and that's it. We got another whistle. Holding was the call earlier on the Skippers. Nope. Timeout Mandeville. So with 4 seconds to go in the third quarter, Mandeville 43, Fontainebleau 7. Crimson Band from K9 Land trying to get things going for the Fontainebleau fans.
Empty.
Big pressure right out of the gate, and it's going to be a sack. So again, good job initially of DeRoche by evading the pressure, but man, there was nowhere to go. That was number 33. It looked like J.J. O'Neal on the pressure. So the initial pressure right there. So that is the end of the third quarter. 43-7 Mandeville. Second and 19 for the Skippers. And we have a flag on the play.
Got dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Still second down.
So false start on the offensive line right there. I tell you, Fontainebleau looks like they had a run blitz ready to go, and then they kind of moved out of it and shifted.
They shifted into different gaps, and still don't know if they were coming or not, but I can tell you this, they've got a lot of rotational players in there on the D-line right now. You can take that starter line. Coach Hunt's rotating a lot of different guys at those 3 down spots.
So DeRoche back, rolls to his right, looks long, and man, I tell you what, there's a flag on the play. That was, it looks like Shepard down the field yet again. 2 Bulldogs in there. So I'm not sure what the call is. Pass interference on the defense.
That was obviously on the far side of the field from us, so we can't make a comment on that either way.
No, we can't. My initial reaction was there wasn't much there. So that's just my initial reaction.
I do know that they put 2 defenders on him, which is a lot better than what was going on in the first half.
So, nonetheless, it is going to lead to a second down for the Skippers, and this is a much more manageable 2nd and 9.
Fontainebleau playing a little bump and run down here. No, he didn't jam him.
So we set up a screen.
Behind the line.
Behind the line. This has got positive yardage written all over it, as Nate Shepard's able to find another gear and go down the sideline for a big gain. A good call right there to negate the pressure that's been put on by Fontainebleau.
Well, they invited that pressure through that time, that's for sure.
So well done by the Mandeville Skippers. DeRoche again.
Is a big boy, Beecher.
Yes, he is. Waited to the last second before handing it off to Shepard, and he knows what to do with it. And he gets all the way down to about the, looks like almost the 5-yard line.
Shepard stopped by number 8, Bayham.
Look down at my notes, see Beecher's just a junior. He's leading the way over here.
Yes, and he's not a small fella either. Mandeville checks to the sideline. This time you have, looks like McGowan set to DeRoche's left. Snap is back, handoff, and that was McGowan for a short gain.
Inside zone right there. Not even a zone read, just inside zone, and Sylvan Owens, one of the 2 on the tackle right there again.
And it looked like you were mentioning running to the left to a degree behind Cole Beecher. By the way, Coach, he's 6'3", 290. So he's got a little bit of girth to him. Handoff again. This time up the middle. Spin, not happening. And man, what a block. We were sitting there mentioning number 75, Cole Beecher. And let's just say he did his job and then some.
Sometimes I get caught up in watching individual assignments, and you were saying what size he was, and I was thinking to myself, I've seen big guys before that can't play. Cole Beecher can play.
Yeah, and no doubt.
While we're talking about him, he just laid a pancake out.
Yes, he did. Good hard running by McGowan right there. Got close, but credit to the Bulldog defense. They stiffened right there, but that being said, the ball is on the 1. Snap is back. This time it's Nate Shepard up the middle for the score. And again,
Shepard wasn't quite as excited to score that touchdown as he was that first or second.
No.
That was old hat to him. He just kind of tossed the ball back to the ref that time.
Hey, look, we talk sportsmanship, quality young men doing what they're supposed to do. In that case, You just do your job,
Yep.
you handle your business, and you go about it.
I think old Barry Sanders just handed it back every time, if I remember right.
He was the epitome of class. Snap is back, kick is up, and Mandeville has got hit the half-century mark here tonight, Coach. So with 10:08 left to go in the fourth quarter, the score is Mandeville 50, Fontainebleau 7.
Double safety for the Bulldogs. Damian Marshall to the far side. Sebastian
Garrett Gleason
Gleason kicking off.
about to put the ball deep. Marshall and Miller back, waiting to receive. Kick is off. This one will be returned. Fontainebleau sets their blocks. Not a whole lot of room. It looks as though 17 Miller was the one on the return right there. So Burleson will be setting up shop with some decent field position.
We're to the point of the game now. Burleson plays some point guard for me with basketball season coming up. And every time there's a possibility of a sack, I start, just hoping he don't get broke in half right there.
So, yeah, he's a quality athlete, and he's had some solid games this year. He's looking right here to get something going. Mandeville again. They've been impressive tonight, Coach, going sideline to sideline.
I don't recall, besides the long touchdown, besides the long play before the touchdown, I don't recall Fontainebleau ever getting to the edge on any of their runs tonight and getting towards the sideline.
Look, Mandeville really does an excellent job in pursuit, and they'll use that sideline as an added defender. You got nowhere to go because they spread you out, and they do such a good job of flowing to the ball. Burleson back, empty backfield. Snap is back, surveys, looks.
Good route.
Yes, slings it, got him. Oh, and he's close, Coach. Man, I tell you, what a beautiful pitch and catch right there. And that was Jaden Eccles on the receiving end.
When you go empty, you put your guy with your biggest threat. That's the same thing a while ago that Mandeville did with Shepherd when they went empty.
Yes.
On the touchdown
went to
play
him
before the half.
So easy enough.
Oh, you got a flag back there.
Yes, you do. And this one looks like it's coming back.
Got a face mask on the offense. Still first down.
Face mask on the offense. Is that going to be a lineman?
It had to be on the offensive line while they were blocking.
Man, that's an unusual call. You don't see that often. They do happen. You get your hand up, and who knows what happened. You get your finger,
Yeah, Mulkey seems to be the one pleading his case the most. I'm not sure that's who has called it on, but he was the one.
And again, how can I say this? Sometimes your hand just gets up in that area, and it happens. Nonetheless, it erases a big play. Burleson's back again, empty backfield.
Free safety come down quick.
Yes, he did. Mandeville.
Pettivino.
Yeah, Pettivino was certainly looking for that. Nowhere really for Damian Marshall to go right there, the wide receiver. Trying to get him, moving with the ball in his hands. Create some space to get around that edge, but Mandeville's done such a good job of sealing that, as you mentioned, Coach.
You talked about that offensive lineman getting his hand up. When you're coaching, you don't coach, to injure or harm, but you coach a little rough sometimes. It's a rough game.
It is. There's a lot. How can I say this? A lot of physicality within the rules. Burleson takes off. He's got some space, and I tell you what, good athleticism on his part. And I'm not sure where he ran out, but it's a first down because they are moving the chains. Pettivino on that tackle, so he's in on back-to-back tackles for the Skippers.
First down,
Dawes got quite a bit of yardage back right there.
So Fontainebleau checks to the sidelines. They're able to reset, fresh set of downs. Burleson looking.
Pistol backfield.
Mandeville brings some defenders up. Burleson looks. He had nowhere to go with that, so he had to take off.
Burleson. Tackle for a loss.
Big number 96
Clarence Joseph.
in the backfield, Clarence Joseph III.
Second down, 12.
So good job all the way around. I tell you what, there was nowhere for Burleson to go with that ball. So
They wanted your eyes on Eccles over there, and they tried to sneak Burleson down the middle.
and look, Burleson's not a small fella, 5'10", 240.
He's not
So
240 now. I know Burleson will.
So, well, not Burleson. I'm sorry. I meant Clarence
There we
Joseph
go.
III.
There we go.
My apologies. Big pass, and that might be interference or no call there.
One of your questionable ones, once again, that's on the top of the field for us to see. The pass was accurate. It was right on the money, and the defender either just had a nice break up or touched him a little bit early, and it wasn't called. One of the two.
And it kind of looked like it actually may have hit the very top of his helmet on the way through. So it would have taken an excellent pitch and catch right there. The defender was in a good position.
We got here 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12.
And at this field position, I would imagine Fontainebleau's keeping their offense on the field, provided there's not a sack.
Empty backfield.
Burleson calls quickly. There's some confusion in the backfield. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but there was certainly some confusion in the backfield. Damian Marshall was cutting across. Burleson was looking to perhaps give him the ball, but I don't know if the run was too tight. I don't know exactly what the circumstances were, but it did lead to a 4th down, and it's going to be a 4th and 14. And that does change things because Roche is going to be on the field. Like I said, I would imagine Fontainebleau was going for it unless there was a sack, and there was a sack on the play. Snap is back. Roche is taking off. He looks like he's got some space, Coach. He might get there. He will. And it's going to be a 1st down for the Bulldogs. I don't know that was an intentional, but I tell you what, once he took off.
I'm not shocked by his athleticism. The past couple of years, he's been a valuable leg to the Bulldogs, but he could have easily played some wide receiver or some secondary for Fontainebleau if he weren't trying to protect that valuable leg of his. He's that athletic.
And that leg is, like we mentioned earlier, he's going to be a desirable asset to somebody at the next level.
And could I add he's a 4.0 student?
Well, that only makes him that much more desirable. So if you're at the collegiate level, you got to love it when guys are the true student athletes. Got a flag on the play.
I'm pretty old school. I think things only go to 4.0, but now it goes past that. He might even be one of those that goes past 4.0.
He might, and he might be in the 30 and above club on the ACT. That's something that we were talking about last week with some of the fellas over at Covington High School. I'd imagine that if he's not there, I would bet you he's close.
We always like to use him on the scout team just because he always be around the football or catching the ball if we ask him to play scout offense.
Quality young man
and athletic. And unfortunately, sometimes he doesn't get to use his foot enough with some field goal attempts and whatnot.
Burleson back. Turn. The give. Is that Eccles? Yes, Eccles gets to the corner this time. That may be a horse collar. Well, let me rephrase that. There's a foul on the play. Coach, I'm not with this one. Yeah, you should. I'm not going to certainly say it. Let's see. Okay.
There we go. And if I was going to be wrong, I was going to blame it on Coach Dufresne, who's coming down right now.
So with 1:53 to go, Fontainebleau's got a nice drive going after Roche's very athletic fake punt.
It was better than Seattle's punter's fake punt against the Saints last Sunday. I don't know if you got to see that. He took off running and just fumbled.
1st down, Fontainebleau.
I want to thank Coach Woods for the good hospitality up in the press box here at Fontainebleau tonight.
No doubt, a wonderful place to come visit. Good people, always enjoyable. Snap is back. Give us to number 24. Jackson England trying to get outside.
Like he was trying to get to that C gap, and it was plugged, so he tried to get on outside to the edge. Once again, Mandeville hadn't let him bite to the edge all night.
And we are down to the last minute.
I know the Dogs like to pick up a score right here at the end.
And Fontainebleau still churning along. It's going to be a 2nd and 13.
Will be performing the beginning of their showcase show tonight, following the game.
So we have Eccles behind Burleson. Snap is back. Burleson looks. He's going to sling it, looking into the end zone. Touch! No, it's going to be incomplete, but flag on the play. More likely than not, Coach, I would assume that that's going to be pass interference on the defense.
I'm going to go with you on the assumption right there.
Yeah, well, confirmed right there by the officiating crew. So that's going to set up.
Looks with 8 seconds left.
Looks like it's going to be a first down and a timeout for Fontainebleau Bulldogs. 8 seconds to go. Burleson looking, drops back, puts the ball up in the air, nothing there. And the clock will stop with 2 seconds to go. And a timeout for Fontainebleau. And we are back for what seems to be the final play of the evening, barring a penalty. Fontainebleau, Burleson calls for the snap. Rolls to his right, looks, throws, and it's going to be incomplete. And that's going to do it for tonight. So I would like to thank Coach Randall Ginn sitting next to me, cameraman extraordinaire, Dave the Rave Williams. I am Jimmy Inman. We are leaving the prep zone with the final score of Mandeville 50, Fontainebleau 7. Good night.